While Cincinnati may not be home to Bigfoot, Bloody Mary, or Slender Man, the Queen City does possess its fair share of spine-tingling tales. From Cincinnati's very own cryptid, the Loveland Frogman, to Imogene Remus's lingering ghost and the bones of Cincinnati Music Hall. These are the most enduring urban legends hailing from Queen City, including at least a few under-the-radar stories. So this video, we are going to talk about Scary Stories, the Cincinnati Crawler. The video is going to be amazing, so make sure you stick to the end. The bones of Cincinnati Music Hall. One of the city's most beautiful buildings is also reportedly one of its most haunted. Cincinnati Music Hall, which was erected in 1878, sits on a plot of land that once belonged to a pauper's gravesite. The ghost stories even predate the building's completion. The tales began when the ground was excavated to make room for an elevator shaft and workers unearthed over 200 pounds of bones. The staff at Cincinnati Music Hall readily back up the rumored hauntings. The late conductor of the Cincinnati Pops, Erich Kunzel, was a witness. In describing his encounters with spirits, he is quoted as saying, "If you think crazy, just come here sometimes at 3 o'clock in the morning." They're very friendly. Ghost tours are given where guests are walked through the haunted parts of the building. Ghost hunting equipment is welcome, so don't be surprised if one of your fellow attendees is outfitted with a proton pack. Tilly the Elephant is buried somewhere in Cincinnati. Tilly the Elephant was a part of Robinson's Circus, a popular traveling show in the late 1800s. After her death in 1932, thousands showed up at her home in Terrace Park to celebrate her life. It was a big ado. Schools canceled classes. The newspaper ran a full obituary. An airplane dropped carnations from above the memorial. Since then, it has been a long-standing rumor that she was buried in Spring Grove Cemetery. But according to Spring Grove Cemetery historian Phil Nuxall, the rumors are false. He writes in his book Phil Nuxall's Stories in the Grove that Tilly's legs were turned into umbrella stands. And the rest of her? One longtime resident of Terrace Park told WCCPO that Tilly was buried in a dry well in Terrace Park. Before we move on, support us by hitting subscribe and the bell icon to get notified when we post new videos. Now, let's get back to our topic. The sightings of the Loveland Frogman. On an early summer day in 1955, a businessman claims to have seen a group of humanoid frogs that stood on two legs and disappeared into the Little Miami River. Another sighting occurred nearly 2 decades later when a police officer came across a mysterious creature along the river, which was trying to escape. He shot and killed the creature and took it back to the station to show another police officer. The officer later came out to state that the mystery creature was a tailless iguana slipping away on its hind legs. While this may debunk that particular sighting, it was not the last appearance of the supposed frogman. The latest sighting occurred in the summer of 2016 when Pokémon Go took the nation by storm. A teenager playing the game claimed to have seen a gigantic frog slip away into the river. This is the only sighting with video and photographic evidence of what the witness saw. Needless to say, the Cincinnati area has its own Bigfoot figure in the Loveland Frogman, a cult icon that has inspired local musicals and graphic t-shirts which proclaim, "I saw the Loveland Frogman." Imogene Remus. The Springhouse Gazebo in Eden Park is said to be home to one of Cincinnati's most famous ghostly legends, Imogene Remus. In 1927, she was murdered by her husband, George Remus, a known bootlegger who had been recently released from a 3-year-long stint in prison. On the day of her death, Imogene was driving through Eden Park on her way to the courthouse to divorce her husband when he stopped her cab and shot her in the stomach. To the horror of onlookers, including Imogene's daughter, George Remus walked away. He hitched a ride to the police station and turned himself in. The trial that followed became notorious due to the fact that George Remus pled temporary insanity and was acquitted of his wife's murder. Imogene Remus allegedly haunts the gazebo in Eden Park, wearing all black and often appearing at dusk and dawn. Sightings of her are said to be most common during autumn. The Hook Man of Cincinnati. Almost every town in America has a version of the Hook Man story, so of course, Cincinnati has its own. As it goes, a doctor and his wife lived with their son on Pond Run Road in New Richmond. It is rumored that the boy was mentally disturbed and that his abusive parents kept him chained up in the basement. Then, in the mid-1900s, their home was struck by lightning and caught on fire. When authorities arrived on the scene, they found that both parents had died, but all that remained of the boy was a severed hand. Now this child was mentally unwell, homeless and handless. According to the legend, he began stealing from local homes and eventually started killing teenagers who were making out in their cars using his hook hand. So that's it. Please like, share, and comment your thoughts below if you like this video. Remember to subscribe to see our next video. Stay safe, and we will be back soon with another video.